Sandler training IR theory, winners, losers, and at-leasters, and I is identity, R is role. In the last issue, we talked about the role of the critical parent ego state, of the parent that is, in developing negative scripts in the child. We also talked about the Sandler success triangle and how one's success is determined by the level of positive belief in self, company, product, and industry that one has. And not only that, you can adapt it to whatever situation you find yourself in. In this issue, we're going to briefly deal with the 3 positions on the Sandler identity role scale. This will give you a base understanding about why you're operating on the level that you are. Now, these positions on the scale are not value judgments about people in general, but it shows why people are where they are in life. And more importantly, and not in this video, but how they can change their self-concept or identity so that they can increase their role performance. And by role performance here, I'm mostly talking about sales, but it could be role performance in any area. Because as we stated earlier, you will never earn more than how you see yourself conceptually. Self-image and role performance always go hand in hand. That's why many people go to seminar after seminar thinking that if they just can get that one magic bullet, everything will turn around for them. Dead wrong. There aren't any magic bullets. This is because, like we saw with the Sandler success triangle, if one's attitude is not right, that person won't do the critical behaviors necessary to make him or her successful, and no amount of the latest techniques will come to the rescue. So let's start with the at-leaster position. This position means what it says. An at-leaster doesn't win, but at least he doesn't lose. The vast majority of humanity falls into this category. At-leasters lie between the 4 and the 6 points on the scale. For example, if an at-leaster starts winning on his role side, going past 6 on the scale, let's say sales performance for example, he will eventually self-regulate back down to 4 to 6 to maintain a balance with how he sees himself conceptually. That's why you can take an at-leaster and give him the best training, give him all the pep speeches you want, but he will never consistently perform beyond the 4 to 6 level on his role side because his self-image will bring him back down to reality. A loser, on the other hand, operates from the 0 to 3 points on the scale. And by saying loser, we don't mean that the person is a loser, but that it's just how he sees himself. And no amount of training on the role side will help because, like the at-leaster, but to a greater degree, this person blames outside circumstances for his position in life. The loser and at-leaster are running critical parent scripts as we talked about earlier. They are not in total control of the direction of their lives because they have been defined by what transactional analysis calls the critical parent. To a large degree, I mean it's not a hard rule, but it's generally true. And so they are merely recycling the psychological trash inherited by their parental or authority figures. They have yet to switch into the adult ego state and critically assess why they are the way they are. By the adult ego state, we mean the critical or logical thinking abilities they are capable of to assess their situation and devise a plan to change it. They have never questioned the validity of the inherited garbage from their parents' critical parent ego state, which becomes their critical parent ego state, by the way. It has become so much a part of their identity that no more thinking about it is done than is done about breathing. That's why David Sandler, the founder of Sandler Training, always taught that when out on a sales call, or this could be a personal interaction in general, leave your mother, critical parent, at home and leave your child in the car with the window cracked because we don't want to get sued. When you leave your mother at home in the context of IR theory, you bring your adult into the equation and question all the assumptions and value judgments of the critical parent. In other words, why in the world should I accept the limitations put upon my self-image from the critical parent ego state of my parent? The more logical adult ego state then keeps questioning the script until the lie inevitably falls. Leaving the child in the car means excluding the adaptive child ego state from interactions with other people. This is because the adaptive child, not secure in himself, seeks to please the other party or person. And because of this, the other party will be in a one-up position of parent, not respecting the child, so to speak. That's why Sandler always taught that when on a sales call, your posture should always be, I'm financially independent and I don't need the business. And I know every time I've come across this way, not in a negative way, but just in a very confident way, I'm financially independent, I don't need the business, people don't see me as needy and they respect me more, and I've done a lot more business that way. And this phrase, if believed with conviction, kills many birds with one stone. Pardon the metaphor if you're a bird lover. I'll name two. First, it enables you to leave the child in the car because you're not trying to please anyone, because you don't need the money. Second, it removes the critical parent from the situation because you are on equal footing with a second party, prospect, or whomever. This brings us to the winner on the IR theory scale. The winner reflects this attitude, the attitude I'm financially independent, I don't need the money. Unlike the loser or at leaster, the winner's role performance doesn't affect his eyesight or self-image. This means that failing doesn't make a winner a failure. The sooner the at-leaster and loser realizes this, naturally the more risk they will take. This is because they do not risk anything on the I side when taking risks on the R side. But the loser and at-leaster can't separate the I from the R. The winner says something like this: I love myself because I made the attempt. I feel great about myself because I'm a winner, so I know I'm going to win. The difference is the loser and the at-leaster constantly look at the results to know whether they can feel good about themselves or not. This is absolutely backwards because success on one's R side or role side is determined by one's level on the I side. Meaning if you truly believe yourself, it will automatically affect how well you do in your roles. And the I side means identity, how you think about yourself, your self-concept, self-esteem, great attitude, things of that nature. This is the eternal hamster wheel to nowhere, lived by far too many people. The problem is that the at-leaster and loser are listening to childhood tapes recorded on their adaptive child ego state and not asking their adult ego to question the heck out of them. If they did, they would realize that living their lives according to these ridiculous scripts is going nowhere. Sandler training and transactional analysis state that you were born a 10, and we'll go over that more in later videos. But it's crucial. You aren't what you do, you are a 10 when you were born. And it is only from the input of the critical parent ego state propagated by parents that a child goes to an at-leaster or a loser. But they were born a 10. More about that in a later issue.